In the Czech Republic, President Park Geun-hye met with the Visegrad Group, an economic bloc of 4 Central European nations. Korean art is hot on the global art market these days. Monochrome paintings from Korea are immensely popular, fetching high prices at auction. And lifelong couples are said to resemble one another in speech and appearance, but a new study shows that they may also struggle with similar illnesses. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Friday, December 4th. I'm Luke Clary. President Park Geun-hye is visiting the Czech Republic, where she held her first summit with the so-called Visegrad Group, an economic bloc of 4 Central European nations. The talks have laid the foundation for Korean firms to advance into the 4 countries' infrastructure markets. The 2 sides also agreed to cooperate on realizing a peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula.
President Park Geun-hye has launched a multilateral consultation channel with leaders of the Visegrad Group, composed of Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia. It is Korea's first summit platform with a European group that's similar to a bilateral talks channel established with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. In a joint statement, Seoul and the Visegrad Group agreed to regularize joint foreign ministerial talks. The statement also includes support for Korea's initiative on a peacefully unified Korean Peninsula. The agreement also specifies pushing for Korean firms' participation in major infrastructure projects underway in the 4 European nations with financial aid provided by the European Union. Projects such as building subway and communication networks are worth a combined $43 billion.
인프라 분야에서의 미래 지향적 파트너십을 강화하기 위해 인프라 고위급 회의 설치에 합의를 하였습니다.
Seoul and the Visegrad Group also agreed to form a dialogue channel on energy cooperation, including nuclear plant constructions. The 2 sides also signed a memorandum of understanding on joint research to expand cooperation in science and technology.
The South Korean, U.S., and Japanese envoys to the 6-party nuclear talks met in Washington to discuss new ways to resolve North Korea's nuclear issue. Let's take a look.
South Korean, U.S., and Japanese envoys to the 6-way nuclear talks met for the first time in 7 months. The chief South Korean delegate, Park Geun-hye, who also serves as the special representative for Korean Peninsula Peace and Security Affairs, said that the meeting was a continuation of the latest Korea-U.S. and Korea-Japan summits, where the 3 countries' leaders promised to bolster trilateral cooperation. He added that the 3 parties are looking for new ways to expand the existing strategy, which combines pressure and dialogue. A diplomatic source in Washington said that the agenda of the meeting focuses on finding more diverse solutions in addition to the existing stances in line with the outcome of the October summit between the South Korean and U.S. leaders, who stressed the urgency of resolving the North Korean nuclear issue. Regarding North Korea's demand to sign a peace treaty, the source said that the demand is tantamount to putting the cart before the horse. The envoys also reportedly discussed Pyongyang's submarine-launched ballistic missile test and the inter-Korean vice-ministerial level talks slated for next week.
Korean art is hot in the global art market these days. In particular, monochrome paintings, which embody the essence of Korean abstract art, are immensely popular, fetching high prices at auction.
Hong Kong is the center of Asia's art market. It was none other than a Korean piece that opened an auction held this past weekend in Hong Kong by Christie's, the world's largest auction house.
Lot number 1, start with interest at 800,000 Hong Kong dollars.
The auction's first 6 items were all Korean works of art. The audience applauds when a painting by Park Seo-bo is sold at $1.2 million after heated competition. Korean abstract artworks or monochrome paintings are highly appraised for their unique styles of painting lines across a restrained surface.
you can see even one line, you can feel that the artist has spent a significant amount of passion to get that one stroke done properly.
The total winning bids of works by 5 leading monochrome painters jumped threefold from $4.2 million last year to $12.8 million in the first 7 months of this year alone. Korean art is expected to continue making waves despite the fact they're widely believed to be undervalued compared to Chinese and Japanese art.
Traditional markets in Korea have been struggling to lure customers to discount events similar to the Black Friday event held recently by department stores and supermarket chains. Poor marketing strategies have been blamed for their lackluster performance so far.
Discount events are in full swing at a traditional market ahead of the year-end season. Stores are offering large discounts on vegetables, fruits, kimchi ingredients, and items that help stay warm in the winter. Cultural performances will also be held at the market on Christmas. Such discount events at traditional markets were benchmarked after the Black Friday event that was held recently by large retailers.
경기가 너무 어렵다 보니까 좀 활성화 차원에서 고객들한테 시장 홍보도 좀 하려고 이렇게 준비를 하고 있습니다.
More than 500 conventional markets nationwide have launched so-called K-sale discount events under the auspices of the Small and Medium Business Administration. But few citizens are aware of the sales. That's because traditional markets face steep limitations in publicizing their prize drawing and gift certificate events.
홍보를 보다 체계적으로 하고 정기화시켜라. 연말에 한 번 하든지 아니면 2번 하든지 또는 계절별로 하든지.
Experts say traditional markets need to join their efforts to devise more effective marketing strategies.
Lifelong couples are said to resemble one another in their speech and appearance, but a new study shows that they also struggle with similar illnesses. Here's more.
This couple in their 70s has lived together for over 50 years. The husband, who is hospitalized for angina, and his caretaker wife both take medicine for high blood pressure.
먼저 잡숫고 난 뒤하고 저래가 의아노 싶었는데 내가 또 그러니까 닮아가는 거지 뭐.
The ASEAN Medical Center examined 520 couples over 40 years old and discovered that if a spouse suffers from hyperlipidemia or hypertension, their partner is 2.5 times and 2 times, respectively, more likely to develop the same condition as well. This shows that couples living together also contract similar diseases. In fact, if a spouse skips breakfast, the partner is 7 times more likely to follow suit. Also, if one side doesn't exercise, the other is 2.4 times more likely not to exercise. The pattern also exists with obesity and depression. Spouses of obese or depressed partners carry as high as 1.7 and 3.8 times higher risks of developing the conditions. Through many years together, couples appear to share the risk factors of certain ailments. On the other hand, this also means that if couples follow regular eating habits and exercise together, the effects from prevention and treatment methods may be twofold as well.
Authorities have decided to build small airports on Ulleung Island and Huksan Island for small 50-seater jets. Once the airports are built, it will take just 1 hour to reach the islands from Seoul.
Ulleung and Huksan Islands will soon become easier to access. Currently, it takes about 9 hours to reach the islands from Seoul. Travelers must first take a train, then transfer to a bus, and then board a ferry. To make things worse, the operation of ferries is suspended whenever the weather becomes stormy. But soon, passengers will be able to reach the islands by air within an hour. The nation's first small airports will be built on the islands. They will feature 1,200-meter-long and 30-meter-wide runways and will be able to accommodate 5 50-seat passenger jets each. Construction will begin in 2017, with Huksan Airport to open in 2020 and Ulleung Airport the year after that. Construction of the airport on Ulleung Island is expected to boost the regional economy as well as promote the use of small aircraft, as the island is visited by more than 450,000 people annually. The government plans to expand construction of more small airports on remote islands. The construction of small airports in areas that can't be reached by large aircraft is expected to change the dynamics of Korea's airline industry.
The Korean government has changed emergency response guidelines to recommend that ordinary people unfamiliar with cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, are allowed to perform only chest compressions instead of simultaneously applying mouth-to-mouth breathing. This new guideline is based on research that says the survival rate is higher when only chest compressions are administered.
This man's heart suddenly stops during a bath. The first responders dispatched to the scene perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, by administering both chest compressions and artificial respiration. But the survival rate of cases in which CPR was performed rests at a mere 4.8% in Korea. That's just half the figure of the United States and Japan, which have better emergency response systems. Now, the Korean government has adopted a new set of response measures to boost the survival rates in emergency situations. Instead of the conventional method of performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and chest compressions alternately, ordinary people are now allowed to apply only chest compressions. In fact, one study has found that the survival rate of people who received only chest compressions stood at 14.4%, higher than the 11.5% shown by those who received both. But mouth-to-mouth resuscitation must be performed for a person who has drowned or is asphyxiated. The new guideline also recommends not to stop emergency treatments for more than 10 seconds to prevent brain damage from a lack of oxygen.
Korea's only orchestra comprised of visually impaired musicians held a meaningful concert. Let's find out how they overcame their challenges and spread hope and inspiration during this holiday season.
A spotlight illuminates a trombone player on the dark stage. When the solo is over, the concert hall is again plunged into total darkness. Then, beautiful melodies of orchestral music flood the pitch-dark hall. The light is turned on once again, and it's revealed that all of the musicians on stage are visually impaired. After practicing repeatedly, they were finally able to perform in harmony.
불을 끄니까 시각장애인 입장이 돼서 듣는 느낌이 되니까 엄청난 노력이 느껴졌어요. 진짜 감명 있게 본 것 같아요.
This is Korea's only blind orchestra, comprised of 68 students and teachers from the Incheon Haegwang School for the Blind. For the last 5 years, these musicians have been demonstrating through their concerts that disability is no more than an inconvenience, and nothing can stop their passion for music.
음악을 통해서 이렇게 마음으로 공감할 수 있다는 거, 그게 좋은 것 같아요.
The orchestra plays the music of dreams and hopes in darkness. They are planning a concert in North Korea next year.
We covered some secondary heating options yesterday. However, the frequent use of such heaters increases the risk of low-temperature burns. Today, we shared tips on how to prevent those burns.
Heaters are a winter necessity that help melt away the cold. However, heaters do carry the risk of serious burns.
늘 겨울철만 되면 전기 히터를 많이 사용을 하는데 그게 처음에는 화상인 줄 몰랐거든요. 근데 이게 시간이 지나다 보니까 막 가렵고 그다음에 그 붉은 반점이 생기더라고요.
This man visits a doctor for what are called fire stains, a kind of low-temperature burn. Low-temperature burns are caused by the deformation of protein in the skin after long-time exposure to heat.
저온 화상은 40도, 45도에 높지 않은 온도에 지속적으로 노출되게 되면 피부가 변화가 일어나죠. 약간 붉어질 수도 있고 또 희끗희끗해질 수도 있고 심한 경우는 물집도 생길 수가 있습니다.
Keeping a good distance from the heater is crucial for preventing low-temperature burns. Heaters should be placed at least a meter away. You better scrupulously check if the heaters come along with a safety certification. The proper use of timers also helps prevent low-temperature burns. Don't forget to attach instant heat packs or warmers to your clothes, not directly onto your skin. To prevent burns from electric or hot water mats, it's better to spread a thin blanket on them. Home remedies with unproven effects can worsen low-temperature burns. When you get a burn, wash it with cold water or saline solution and go to a nearby hospital for medical attention. Some people need to take extra care when using heaters.
당뇨가 있으면 일단 신경 손상이 일어나서 감각을 못 느끼게 되죠. 또 술을 많이 먹거나 노약자들도 주의하셔야 됩니다.
While seeking shelter from the cold near a heater, you may sustain low-temperature burns without your knowledge. Using heaters safely and properly is the best way to prevent such burns.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.